Hey, what's up, fellas? Chip here. This video is for specifically for the offensive line. I wanted to get this video out there and talk specifically about our pass protection and blocking schemes that we're going to be using this year. So I wanted to kind of get that out there, and then so everything we do, everything we drill, everything we practice will be at perfecting these schemes. And we'll keep repping them in practice. So we'll see different fronts. We'll put different fronts in and drill different things and make adjustments as necessary. But I want to give you all a starting point so we know where we are to start, and then as we go along, if we have to make certain adjustments for fronts we're not really used to or something that's beating us up a little bit, we can go from there. So when we're talking about our basic pass protection, all right, I'm gonna start with our basic five. We do have the ability to bring in a tight end, two tight ends even if we want to, or H-back, anything like that. But what I want to do is just talk about basic pass protection. All right, our if everything's going right for us, this is how we're going to respond in pass protection. Okay. Most teams run a 4-2-5 or a 4-3, whatever, 6 in the box. Okay. So in all my years, I've never really tried to double team anybody. I haven't seen very many people that have warranted a double team, but so this is kind of where we're at. 6-man box. We're going and this with our back over here. We'll say it's a strong right. Basic man blocking protection. Okay. We'll drop stick and he'll take the end on both sides. Our guards will take these two inside guys. Since we're strong right, our center is responsible for the backside inside backer. He's what we'll determine as our Mike linebacker. Okay? So anything away in pass protection, he's our Mike. Our center is responsible for that guy. So if he comes, he's responsible for him. Okay? And then if our back is staying in, if he's not given a route, he's responsible for this backer here. As simple as we can get. Okay? If for some reason this back is out in a route, then the quarterback is responsible for that backer right there. And he has to know that. Now, like I said, you can play with some adjustments here. We identify the center knows he's responsible for this guy. Let's say the backer is coming here or looking to come here, and then this one's here. If we want to pull a switch, we can do that. We just have to make a call. This is just a center communication. Okay? But what you have to know is if that call is made, if you make the switch, you have to stay with it and live with the results. I'm not going to be mad if he's showing here and you make a switch call and then they go, I mean, you got to do the best you can. As long as there's a call and whatever happens, you live with it. That is what it is. We'll just have to make adjustments and know that that's something they'll do. So that's our basic protection. A gap blitzes are big in our league. So we can always slide as well. So we have our left and right slide away from the back. So we're always stepping away from the back. Okay. Now, what's important with slide protection, two things are very important. Well, it's important anyway, even in our base, and I'll get back to that. But our backs, if we're in a slide protection, we can't sit back here and absorb a blitzing linebacker or defensive end, right? A lot of times what happens is this guy's coming and we're picking up the block right here, right? Well, at this point, you're pretty much at the quarterback already. Okay, so that's not giving the quarterback any room. Also, it doesn't give us the opportunity to chip and get out into a route or fake and get into a screen if we're always just catching back here. And then all of a sudden, now you're coming out in the route. It doesn't give anything for the defense to think about, okay? So instead, when you know who, and like I said, it goes back to playing fast anyway. We want, if we're coming, we want to meet this end here. Meet them up here, right? It gives us time. It gives the quarterback room. And if for some reason we miss this block, it gives the quarterback an opportunity to make a play. And this will be a slide left. And we'll have a call with that. And then we'll go from there. And obviously, if we need to slide to the right, we'll flip the back. I want to go back to our man, our base blocking. Right. If we're coming in with something like that, again, right? Now, if we're still in man, right? So he's responsible. It's still backside. So now the backside guard is responsible for him, the Mike. This guard will be now responsible for him. And then our back, if he's not going out for a route, is responsible for any blitzer to this side. If there's no blitz, then he's in here looking for work. If this guy drops, then he drops looking for work, and likewise. So the premise here is, guys, if you're uncovered and you're responsible for a man and he does not come, you are looking for work. All right. Never should what we should never see as an offensive lineman in pass protection, just standing around doing nothing. Look for work. If we're in a straight 5-man front, simple, right? We're blocking their heads up. He's responsible. Quarterback's responsible for any other blitz. Obviously, if he drops, we're looking for work. So pass protection, we keep pretty easy. A lot of times what I like to do is put the back in a route, because if they're gonna blitz us, then they're gonna stay in man, then putting the back in a route makes them have to cover, and it takes somebody out. If they don't, then we just hit our back and we make plays. We have athletes. That's kind of what I want to do. But I'm not going to sacrifice losing yardage just to try to get something off if it's easier just to protect. If we can win the other routes, then there's no need to send this back out. Well, I'd rather give our quarterback as much time as possible, right? Again, like I said, if for some reason we need to go max protect, I can bring a tight end in. Right? If this team is just hell-bent on blitzing us, right? If they just want to send people, then we can always max protect. Right? He's responsible for him, of course, again. So now we have everything blocked up. If he drops, then our center's dropping and looking for work. Blocks, either side. Quarterback's right-handed. I would always look to his blind side first. Quarterback is looking so he can see he's always going to be responsible for a man. They want to send 8, right? We're blocking 7. That's fine. We still have 4-on-3 on the back end. And we have to win quickly. But this would be our form of max protect. All right, so that's pass protection from at a basic level. Will may want to make some adjustments, and that's fine. Will, like I said, take a look, make adjustments as you see fit. From a run blocking standpoint, we're going to run inside zone, outside zone or stretch, power, trap, counter. All right, so we got a zone and gap scheme. There's different ways we can do that because we have the ability to block with an H-back and motion receivers in the kick out and lead up in the holes. We got a lot of things we can do. And we're gonna do that. Like I said, we want to make things simple for us, but complicated for everybody else. Inside zone, my rules are simple on inside zone. Okay, if we have more, if we have more guys in the box than they do, then we just keep it man, right? So they're in a strict cover two, right? And they're giving us this kind of look. We're not going to complicate. We're not trying to find double teams and work off to everything. No, we're just gonna, hey, block it just like this. Okay, if we're going inside zone, right, our aiming point is here. And so I like to do the pistol because it keeps. I'm thinking about. I shouldn't say because I've never really done it. I kind of am liking the pistol because it gives us a better opportunity to do timing. Because now we have to take that step and work down to the hole. Gives our line time to set their blocks. But that's our aiming point. Now, if we're not dealing with a numbers advantage, and now we have 6 in the box, now it becomes a read. Right? Our aiming point is still the same. He becomes our read defender. And obviously, what this double team is, we're trying to push. We're pushing this tackle into the backer before we release. Okay? And we're getting downhill. Very simple. Very traditional. If for some reason now, if we're gonna play with this pistol in the footwork and the handoffs, if we can't make that work, we'll obviously go back to what we do traditionally, which is having the back line up. But I really want to give this a honest go of it. Same thing here. Actually, that's not true. We're 5, right? We're just gonna block it straight up. We got bubbles here. We just gotta win. And if it's some kind of, that 3-3 type of deal, okay? It's still going to be a read for us. Actually, this is something we'll play because the 3-3 is kind of difficult because you never know who's coming. But if he's gonna sit back or he's gonna come here, it gets confusing. But in a basic level, we're just gonna go to the back and we're gonna always read that end. Okay. So he may have to step aside and work here to draw him down. But either way, that's where we're looking. And then because we're taking this delayed step to get downhill, it gives our backs ways to go. That's inside zone. When we're talking about outside zone, or stretch in this case, two things. And I don't want to talk about the backs right now. I just want to talk about the offensive line. All right. Sorry. Our goal here for offensive linemen in our outside zone is to reach, hit the person and work our way to their outside shoulder. So we're hitting and then trying to work to this shoulder and turn them in. Okay? Our job on the backside is just not to let this end cross our face. And then our back is trying to push this to the sideline and looking for a lane to cut up in. Okay? If we can take it all the way to the sideline, that's fine. But we're really looking for a place to square our shoulders and cut up. Okay? When we're working with the backs, we're working about, we'll really work on getting this and cutting it up. Because a lot of guys think that outside zone automatically means get outside as fast as you can and try to beat people to the sideline, and that's not really it. If we can, yeah, we can get out there and turn the corner. But really what we want to do is get these guys, these backers and everything running out of there so we can cut up in there. So that's kind of what we're looking with outside zone or stretch or however you want to call it. Power. Power. I mean, power. Really, all it means is we're blocking down and we're pulling an extra lineman. Okay, we can run it with the quarterback. We have a kick out. We can run it with the back. It doesn't matter. Um, but really, all it means is we're coming down. What I'm showing you here is quarterback power, right? We're kicking out. But even still, and like I said, we can do this. We can do this by power. All it is getting an extra lineman to the play side. And again, we're working on not crossing our face. And there will be another video when we start talking about power, quarterback power, power read. But this is just basically, like I said, for the offensive lineman. We can also power read. Where we can have a outside stretch to the back. If this guy stays or comes down, he's just giving it, and we're off to the races to the outside. But if he widens a little bit, if he goes with this sweep or steps out a little bit, then the quarterback is shuffling with this to make this guy, to read this guy, and then he's either going to run that power or give the ball. So that's power read. Again, for the offensive lineman, and nothing really changes for them. And the same thing with counter. Okay. Now for us, okay. Again, we can read this guy. Right? If he's going to come down, then we'll pull it. Or, like I said, what we'll end up doing a lot of is running motion and kicking this guy out and giving us time to run that counter. Right? Especially when if we're doing a lot of motion and powering, where we're coming here now, we're kicking this guy out. Sorry. And then we're running it backside. Okay? We have it that way. Okay. And then we also have quarterback counter. And again, you know, we can motion this guy all the way out. There's a lot of stuff we can do to make them move in different ways, but keep our blocking assignments the same. So that's kind of what we do with that. And then trap, not as extravagant, but trapping is we're trying to get up in here, right? I'm sorry, let me make this bigger for you guys. Several different ways we can do this as well. But again, we have a down block. We're not letting them cross our face. Okay? And then we're straight down here. We can even have him take out this backer. I mean, there's always going to be somebody free. But again, if we can motion, come through here with H-back, there's a lot of stuff we can do. And that's kind of what we'll end up doing. But the goal is to kind of get guys moving and kicking and working advantage angles where we're doing a lot of not so much what we're trying to prevent as much as possible is a lot of blocking like this. Right? Just straight, especially with guys with bigger teams, you know, just avoiding getting bull rushed and things like that. A lot of what we want to do is to hit these guys at angles and drive them down. Okay? If we can, right? I would much rather, so a lot of the blocking we're doing, we're trying to hit these guys at angles and drive them out if we're not double teaming them. Okay. So again, this is really basic offensive line work. You know, I don't want to get you guys confused and by doing a lot of if thens and right now until we have to. If we perfect basic stuff, using our hands, driving our feet, not just blocking, hitting the guy and then reacting after that, but hitting the guy, staying on him and trying to push him to the end zone or push him down into the pile and giving our backs room to make a cut. Then if we really drive those points home and really drill that, then when we have to make adjustments, the basic stuff is down. But what I want you guys to do is to be so comfortable in our basic stuff so when you're tired or the stakes are high and things like that, you guys fall back on good habits instead of just falling back on standing straight up, tapping a guy and letting him go by. All right. Um, so that's it. I hope you guys got a little bit out of this. As always, once I post this, ask questions. Let's get everything squared away before we hit the field, and that way we can hit the ground running.